Hey guys, welcome back. Steven Shipler, and we're going to cover how to get 10 listings in a month. I'll show you basically where that stands on the list. So basically, what the list, what we currently have here is, so we've done. Actually, let me grab this marker. We've done 25, 100 intro to the book. We've done how to earn over $1 million in commissions, and now today we're going to do how to get, we've done how to get 100 listings, and today we're going to do how to get 10 listings in a month. So that's where we are. And you can go back to the YouTube channel and you can see all of these that are already in there. And subscribe to it, and you won't miss the live calls and everything else that's coming up. This is just one board. I just wanted to have some kind of an outline, but this is 42 videos, and I don't want anybody to miss, any of these. You might get a little gold nugget out of it. So just, subscribe and make sure that you don't miss the live calls coming up. And if you're new, first 30 days after getting your license. And then basically once we get through all this, I'll just rewrite it again in different formats and things on what other agents and brokers are asking questions about. And I'll just basically go through those and just keep everything moving. So basically today we're at how to get 10 listings in a month. Okay, so really the key to getting 10 listings in a month is it's mastering the morning. I think that's the key to the whole thing. I mean, mastering the morning assures you of getting your calls in and making all of your contacts. Everything will come from contacts. I've had people say, I've even just trained general salespeople, and I've had them say, yeah, that's true, but those aren't good leads, or those aren't good contacts, or I don't really like calling. Like, it's not my thing, I don't really care for that too much. You're probably in the wrong business. And unless you're an accountant, like when I was at Deloitte as an auditor, I wasn't calling people, but I still had to deal with the client, like at Oppenheimer or the state of Wyoming, wherever it was, I still had to deal with the client. I'm not contacting them, but I still had to deal with them. Okay. And then I've had conversations with brokers that say, yeah, I don't really want to make calls. It's like, well, how long have you been in the business? 9 years. What's your volume? And they'll say their volume and say, well, so today you make 100,000. Do you want to make 250,000? No, not really. I'm comfortable. Most people would take 250,000 if they worked only the same amount of time, right? So we're only given so much time in the day. So let's just say that we work 10 hours a day, let's just say, okay? Some of us work more, some of us work less. And if you work less and you make good money, then you're more efficient than the next guy, right? But I can assure you that individual that makes 100,000 is killing themselves to make that. Like, they're working so hard to do that, right? And I don't mean so much that, and I don't mean to be mean, but I don't mean so much that they're not smart about it or anything like that. What I mean is that they're so caught up in the minutia of the emotions and the feelings you get and the assumptions and all of this stuff that they can make themselves busy with that. So you could use the same hours and master the morning and just take your volume to super high levels. And one, you're going to have a little less stress. The stress is probably about the same, but you're going to have a little less stress because you're going to feel like you're in more control of what you're doing. And when you finish your calls in the morning, it's very rewarding. It's a very rewarding feeling, right? Even if you don't get an appointment, it's just, you've done so much. You've done literally more than the top 1% of salespeople. Like, you really have. Like, if you sit down at 8 o'clock and you call just until 10 o'clock, I've seen teams that were at 300 to 400,000, and these are teams like that have been in the business for 30 years, and they have 4 or 5 person teams, like 3 team leads, and then the main person, and then maybe like a coordinator, right? And they're at 350 to 400. Super great. I mean, it is. It's very impressive. Like, it's hard to break 250, but they never mastered the morning. They were just always at the mercy of what the day gave them, right? And then these people then changed, this is just recently, over the last 3 years, changed to mastering the morning, starting at 8 o'clock and going until 10, just 2 hours. All of their team leads, so there's 4 people on their team, the main person and 3 other team leads, so 4 realtors basically. And they all master the morning 8 to 10 every day. Maybe some of them do 8:30 to 10:30, but like for 2 hours. So they're not trying to have a contact goal or an appointment goal. They're just having a time goal. I was astonished at their success. They went from, let's say, 400,000. Now listen, you're gonna be shocked. From 400,000 in 3 years of doing that to 2 million. And they're not changing anything, right? I mean, you could literally go into the office at 8 o'clock and you could screw around until 10:30. I mean, you could screw around the whole day. But you could literally screw around until 10:30, right? And then start getting going. Like, oh, what do we have? What do we got? Oh, where's the contract? Where's this? Oh, call the title company, blah, 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 on and on and on, right? Until the day's gone, and then it's 6 p.m. You're like, shoot, what do happen? So mastering the morning is how you get 10 listings a week. That's really truly the only way you can do that. I mean, even if you're sending out mailers, newsletters, magazines, follow-up brochures, all the stuff. Like, I can show you, here's a handful of stuff just on my desk. So you could be sending out Market Watch newsletters, but I mean, if you're not calling these people back, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So Market Watch newsletters, and I'm going to show everybody how to make all of these. This is my list of buyers from my Facebook ads. So right now I have 268 buyers currently looking, and I literally just I send this to the sellers, and like, it has their phone numbers and their names and everything on there. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, if you want to call them, go for it. And it says status active, relocating from Texas, relocating from Florida, active, relocating from California. So, I mean, basically it shows who they are and what they're doing and what they're wanting, right? These are all Facebook buyers. I send that out with this seller backup plan. I just designed this as a menu of services and I'll go through all this in separate things, but that goes out with a menu of services that just like this. It goes in a cellophane packet and has that slipped in the back as the buyers. It says, my California buyers might be interested in your home, Stephen. Right? And then there's a Remarkable Properties magazine. This is one of my crown jewels, but one of the most amazing pieces that we've done. This took about 5 years to get, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, more than 5 years to get this basically finished. Remarkable Properties magazine. And basically what I do with this is I send this out to my cultivating areas, and now I'm working on working with a lender and working with some other people that want to advertise in here. I put my son's chocolate company in here, and so those things, right? But all of these are also contacts. I mean, if somebody calls me and says, hey, I'm interested in talking to you about selling my house, those are contacts. Those are considered part of the 25 contacts. But I better darn well call those people back, right? So that's all phone calls. And technically it's kind of a cold call in a way because you don't know what they're going to say, you know. I have sellers call me sometimes and say, I'm not really interested in selling my house for 2 years, but I just was wondering what the value was, what you thought the value was. Let's figure it out, right? I mean, that's not a lot different than calling an old expired and saying, hey, do you realize, do you see what the market's doing, and you kind of have an idea of what the market's doing right now? Yeah, I do. You see that it's a super strong seller's market, right? Yeah, I do see that. I can't guarantee anything, David, but if I could get you 5% more than when you had it on in 2020, would that pose a problem for you? I mean, what are you going to say to that, right? I don't know if I can get them 5% more, but I'm not saying I can, right? I'm saying I can't guarantee you this, but if I could get you 5% more, and from 2019 or 2020 on an old expired, it's likely I might be able to get them 20% more, which sounds crazy. Even on a $500,000 house, I might be able to get them 600, right? So I mean, 5%. I mean, that's small pickings for where we are today in the market, right? So that's not a lot different than even saying that to this person, right? Like, let's say that somebody got my Market Watch newsletter and they called and said, yeah, Stephen, I'm interested in this free market analysis. See what buyers are paying for a home like yours. And they called, I would like to know that. I'd like to see what you think. And what is your name? My name's John. Well, John, I can't guarantee anything, but if I could get you 5% more than maybe even what you're thinking it's worth, would that pose a problem for you? No. I think the next logical step then is to come out, sit down with you and go over some numbers and see where we're at. Are you available at 2 to 3 today, or is tomorrow better? Right? I mean, it's all contacting. It's all either you've sent them something and they're calling you and you're contacting them back, or you're contacting them, or it's a buyer that you're contacting. I mean, this is a contact game they're playing, right? Some people say it's a contact sport. It is, it's a contact game. The person that makes the most contacts in this sport definitely wins, for sure. I don't care if you can't even really pronounce words. Like, I mean, if you're making contact, you're going to win, I promise. There's no other way to do it. I mean, think about it. I've been doing this 20 years and somebody brand new in the industry could come in, right? So let's say that I'm making no contacts a day and they're making 5 contacts a day. Do you think their chances are better than mine to succeed? Of course. I'm gonna run out of my sphere of influence eventually, like my friends and family and whatever. I'm gonna run out of those people. I only have so many, right? I mean, of the 50 people that are in my family or friends, just say, how many of those people are gonna buy every year? They're gonna sell every year? 1? None? 2? So, I mean, that person that's making 5 contacts a day is a lot better off than I am, because, I mean, even if he's doing that or she's doing that for 6 days a week, we're making 30 contacts, right? And even at like a small conversion of that, your likelihood of closing and outpacing me is way higher than, and even if I have like amazing voice or a great script and I know what to say and do and blah blah blah, right? That person still made those contacts. I'm not in front of those people, so I don't have the chance. I don't get that chance, right? They get the chance to close that. They get the chance to talk with those people and figure out how they can help them. I don't. So the more contacts I make, the more opportunities I create. That's how you get 10 listings. That's how you get 100 listings. You know, that's just 10 listings a month. I mean, that's basically a little bit less than the goal at 25, 100. 25 contacts a day gets you 25 listings in 100 days. So obviously that's over 3 months, right? That's only 25. I'm talking about getting 10 per month, 10, 20, 30, 40, right? 10 per month will get you 120 listings, even if you sold only 100 of those. Just imagine, I mean, at a gross commission income of 13,000, it's 1.3 million. You're already in the top 0.0001% of all realtors, period. Most realtors don't make $1 million. Like, it's very hard to do, but it's very hard to do if you don't master the morning. That's the point. So, and I'll go through this a little bit more. I have a Master the Morning basically form that I use, and it talks about like how to design that. You know, putting things in your Google Calendar. You know, basically having alarms like, okay, at 8:30 I need to start on whatever expires. At 10:30 I need to be calling my Facebook buyer leads at such and such time, right? And then you just cut off and you go to the next thing. And it makes it more fun too, because like I don't want to call, you know, expired or geo-target for 4 or 5 hours a day. I just don't want to do that. I'd rather mix it up, and then I have a variety, and it changes the gears in my head for my script too. It's just better for how I do it. So master the morning. Here's something that my grandfather said. On page 33 it says, I was told by my grandfather that if you're doing the daily things required of you every day to have a certain outcome, you have already achieved the goal. If you're doing the daily things required of you every day to have a certain outcome, you have already achieved the goal. This is empowering and should be part of your everyday life. If you want to complete a full marathon or a triathlon, you will begin with a plan that starts on day 1. If you want to create the real estate office of your dreams, you have to start with a daily goal. And basically just what my grandpa was saying on this is that, like, let's say I want to do a half marathon, right? So I print out the half marathon, how to train for a half marathon in 6 months, right? And I've done that. And I just say, okay, well, how do you do this, right? You start at day 1 and you go out and you run a mile, right? And then the next day you run another mile, and then you have a break, and then, you know, it's like this whole staging up on your increased amount of time, you know, running time or distance. But the thing is though, is if I stick to that whole plan and I run that first day, that 1 mile that first day, I've already ran a half marathon. Like, I've achieved that goal already. That's what he was saying. He's basically just saying if you do the daily things that are required of you every day, you've already achieved that outcome, right? It's the same thing with this. Like, if you follow and go through this stuff with me, you've already achieved the outcome of $1 million. You've already achieved the outcome. All you have to do is check the boxes, check the boxes, check the boxes, and keep doing those. That's the point. So, all right. So that's it for today. Go serve with passion, and have a wonderful day, and get those contact management platforms set up. Do trial periods so you can see which one you like the best. You know, go check Vulcan 7 and Red X and go look at those, and do trial periods on them. Do 14-day trials and just test it and see what you think. And then, you know, and then you can move right into, you know, the paying for it. So, all right, go serve with passion. Thanks.